talking about like 11-ish. Judge told him come back 1 o'clock with proposals. They were late. Eventually say, I'm going to put up a 5 p.m. bond hearing and have like a all-out bond hearing where they're going to argue back and forth. Maybe this lasts into 8 p.m. I don't know how long it lasts. After-hours bond hearing like this? Only if you're Diddy, I guess. Only if you're rich. Only if you're famous. If you're poor, you don't have no money. We're just average citizens. If any one of us out there, right? Any one of us. If there's no celebrities in the chat, most of us in the chat, we wouldn't get this opportunity like this. Don't do crime, though. Don't put yourself in that position. But you get what I'm saying. It seems like they've been bending over backwards with preferential treatment. Diddy's allowed to communicate with his family while he's in trial. He's allowed to sit back and whisper with his mom.
Yeah.
When the government's pretty much saying that his mom's name's on stuff and documents, and the speculation about his mom's role in all this, right? And Diddy's allowed to sit there and whisper with family members in the course of a trial when the marshals are just letting him do that.
Shout out JLR. I'm going over some.
Jury not sequestered in a major high-profile case. The jurors just can go home without any protection, security by marshals or anything. They just each one walk home, go drive home, take a bus. You just go home, right? So we are here. We're waiting for Combs to enter the courtroom. Mr. Combs, come on in. Oh, I'm sure he's happy.
That piece of shit.
Combs has been brought in.
I think he should be killed for what he did.
He has been brought in. He sits next to Tenny Garrigo.
I think this guy should be shot dead for what he's done. But
Mark walks over to the lectern, then back to his seat. There's like a little podium there, a little microphone.
This piece of shit is going to go free. It's like, what the fuck?
All right, prosecutors are waiting at the table, waiting on the judge. All right, judge, waiting on the judge. Will he?
This affects a lot of other victims.
Be granted bail.
This affects a lot of other victims on here that got through abuse and stuff like that. You know, I've gone through abuse with some people in my life, so it's like I know what it's like and everything. My friend let me use this computer here, so I use this. But God here and this piece of shit is allowed to leave. That should be executed for all his crimes he's done. This piece of shit. Let me see here. I want to go over some, not just his, but where the fuck is do holy silence. Close the Nostra thing. I don't know if never mind. Let's see. Let's see.
I want the crime out of my city. I'm urging you, please. There's no reason why I gotta leave a note in my car saying there's nothing valuable so nobody steal my shit. This is not.
All right, that's not what I want. Let's see here. And you could be getting out of bail. This piece of shit guy could be getting out on fucking, bail. Special treatment and everything.
Will the government seize his asset? Will they go after him? Will the IRS go after him? This is crazy that you had multiple raids when it comes to this case. You had Star Island raided by Homeland Security, Los Angeles, Homeland Security, KK's phone,
Mr. JLR,
Brendan
shout
Paul,
out.
Jane's house, all these raids done. So much evidence collected. And he walks away.
This piece of shit judge gave him special treatment in
on that
court.
sense.
You know, Donovan family, piece of shit family.
We got a poll up. Will the judge grant bail
Family's
for
just
Diddy
as bad
until
as he is.
sentencing? And you see, a lot of people, 68% of the people say, yeah, he's going to get that 1 million bond. 68%. 32% say no. So we'll
This
see
is
where
my
this goes.
count, but I'll vote yes.
Will he or will he not make
It's my
bond?
first count. That means it's on.
Waiting on the judge. That's who we were waiting for. We're waiting for the judge. Let's get JLR to 400,000 subscribers. Yeah, help us get to 400,000 subscribers. If you haven't subbed up, please hit that sub button. It's very easy. It's in the corner. Hit it up, and we really appreciate that.
I don't want
We
the
will continue to cover this case
so
and lots of other criminal cases around the world and interesting
What
things.
about the deaths that he is
Appreciate that.
associated
Thank you,
with?
C.
This is the
AC,
thing that people
Cook.
don't
Thank you,
understand. This thing that people don't understand is that this guy is going to go after the people that talked about him. This piece of shit. I think he should be executed for all the shit he's done. This piece of shit trash. And there's a lot of celebrities. There's a lot of fucking celebrities too that know about his stuff and everything. I want to see this different chat and everything. A lot of people have been. A lot of people have victims of domestic abuse, violence, etc. Shout out JLR again. It pisses me off and everything like that. And everything. So, I mean, for other people in other cases, let's see, judge says, I read part of submission of the jury. Convicted defendant on 3 counts, ever 5 following bail is denied. That's good.
Prosecution, no bond. Look at that. I've read the party submissions and others. The jury convicted the defendant of count 3 and 5 for the following reasons. Bail is denied. Oh, I didn't expect that.
He is a threat.
He sits in
He's
jail.
A threat. He is
Diddy
a threat
sits
to
in
others.
jail. Thank you, Jonathan Avery. Hey, I'm not wearing JLR cup for the one gifted membership. Pretty Little Poison. Thank you, Pretty Little Poison.
How much time big is? Only like 5-10 years or
bail
something?
has been denied.
He is a threat to all these other people, including his piece of shit family and his piece of shit friends that go after the other victims. He is a fucking threat, and so are these other people.
Forget everyone. Yeah, we just bumped up more.
I don't need
Thank
to
you
use
very much for
JLR
everyone
when
that
he's
gifted the
live,
memberships.
but this
Thank
is
you.
news breaking.
We're almost at $3.99. $3.99. Pimp Diddy. Bail denied. That's interesting.
This will affect other
That's interesting.
cases and other victims coming forward because this piece of shit, I don't know what the fuck was wrong with the jury. Let's see. Diddy, bail denied, not as good, bullshit. Um, let's see. Let's see. I don't know how the jury could be so fucking stupid and retarded. But that's, like I said, when I did my live stream last night, I said it's the prosecution's fault. It's the prosecution's fault for not explaining RICO. Then you have one of the stupid Diddy's friends out there saying a freak is not, RICO. This is his society, his people doing this. His people saying that this is okay. His people and shit like that. They're in New York, thinking that he's a fucking hero. He's a fucking martyr and all this other shit. You can bet the defense is arguing that right now. No freak-offs tonight. Let's see. Let's see. Prior to trial, the court denied bail and sees no reason to reverse that now. Defense concealed the defendant's violence. What the fuck? Oh, conceded. Oh, they conceded. Okay. That means they admitted. Which he is, he's a very violent piece of shit guy. Who has lots of connections to people's deaths. I don't love the judge. Those people are, it's like the judge has been an idiot on a lot of this. This is gonna hit the other ones hard. I don't know. I mean, I think this one lawyer that has like dozens of others going against him in civil cases, or at least a dozen. Let's see. Guess they should have said we own the violence. Let's see here. This violence is depicted in video of Cassie Ventura. This stupid ass jury, I swear to fucking God. Let's see. The defense admitted that this is a terrible moment. Domestic violence is the issue. And he is. Judge says it wasn't only that, there was the London hotel incident. Let's see.
Wasn't only that. There was the London hotel incident.
Then he's made a lot of threats to other people too about keeping their mouths shut. This guy comes out, he's going to have those threats. Not only that, but he can make do with violence.
There was violence after the searches in this case.
Yeah, there was.
As to Jane, there was June of 2024. After the searches of Combs' residence. This evidence a disregard for the law and the propensity for violence.
This Combs' resident evidence disregard for the law and propensity of violence. Yeah.
Really listening in now. Bail denied. to see what is being said. Judge should address some other issues too besides this, probably. Will the defense appeal?
I hope he's. Let's see. I'll go to him, but I don't want the politics. So
100 and 500 freestyle. They should have said as a trans athlete, because young people are gonna think maybe it was some type
in custody until his sentencing, which has some exceptions. Combs' circumstances do not warrant those exceptions. According to the Bail Reform Act, a defendant who's been convicted must prove that they do not pose a flight risk or danger to the community.
he's a
To
danger,
be
all
released.
right.
Prosecutors argued that Combs did not meet that burden and proved letters on behalf of 2 witnesses who worry for the danger Combs might pose upon release. Ventura's attorney supplied one of those 2 letters. New report, NBC News, supporters disappointed but not angry. People in the courthouse, what? Seems like people are more disappointed but not angry inside that courtroom. Supporters of Diddy.
Shitty people, trash people. They shouldn't have been in there with some stuff that they did in there. You're allowed to support somebody,
Court
but
takes
you're
no
allowed.
position on what it.
You're allowed to go in there and support them, but what they got away with was murder in there, and how he was able to communicate with them. And if I would have done that, or any other normal person would have done that in fucking court, we would have gotten contempt of court. Not only that, but these pieces of shit, his piece of shit family would go there late. They go into court late. His piece of shit family and friends would do that. Not only that, but Kanye would go in there as well. Just all of a sudden go in there whenever. And you can't do that. You're not supposed to do that. There's a time you're supposed to go into court and be there at that certain time. If Trump ever did give that piece of shit a pardon, that'd be the end of it. I say give him the fuck out. I think a lot of people would vote to impeach Trump if he did such a dumbass thing. Judge says sentencing for Friday, October 3rd, 10 a.m. I went to expedite Combs and the FLIO. We like it expedited. Yeah.
Combs' attorney, we would like it expedited. They want the sentencing quicker than October 3rd, but that's
so he could get
the time
out
we said
quicker.
it would probably be in October. Judge goes on to say, we will need an expedited pre-sentencing report from probation, PSI.
For probation,
But I will be available anytime.
Piece of shit trash.
Yeah, they want to expedite it because Diddy wants to, even if Diddy has to do time, they know he'll do it in a camp. So get him out of there at the NBC. So they want sentencing as quick as possible.
This guy deserves to be
so
executed for all the shit he's done to people.
Minor time or a little bit of time,
He does not give a
sometime.
fucking rat's ass.
Now, of course, his defense will probably say in the PSR they want him to go home, and they'll cite halfway house, or they'll say something like house arrest or something. The judge is not going to do that, most likely.
House arrest, fuck no. He'll. This is injustice.
Well, get him out of the
this proves right here. Money talks, shit walks, like me or anybody else. Money talks, shit walks. You got money, you can get away with murder. Which he's getting away with lots of murders from he's connected to. You got money, you can get away with it. And a lot of black people say, hey, you know, we always get the raw deal. Bullshit. Stop your fucking bullshit. Stop your fucking shit about race and stuff. It has nothing to do with it. You know.
Open.
Miss Kobe has her fucking.
The rules
That bitch
says
has her.
required the preparation of a report, PSI, absent of a reasoned waiver.
Why is he
Probation
allowing
may
that
be
bitch
able
to do this in the
expedite.
first
That
place?
means expedite. Probation department does the PSIs. Probation department does the PSIs.
This guy was getting with all this shit in court and everything.
Update me by July 8th at noon.
Wow, that's a lot faster. No, it's not October 3rd. It's July 8th. Yeah.
So we look like July 8th. They have to give them an update whether the judge
Oh.
will expedite
Okay,
that October
good, okay.
3rd
All right.
hearing or not. Sentencing hearing. But as of now, his sentencing's set for 10 a.m. October 3rd.
Well, let's see what's going on here.
Oh, there's a hearing. They're going to have a hearing on the afternoon of July 8th on this matter.
Yeah. So let's see here. That piece of shit was able to do that. Fucking piece of shit jury. It ain't God that let you free. It's Satan, if anything. I would believe it's God stuff. But anyways. Let's see here. Oh God. I don't want it. I just want it.
And these other celebrities going to his parties and Lecrae and all these fake Christians, in my personal opinion. So that's the only thing that really bothered me was the people that were engaged in things that he was doing knowingly and intentionally, and they supposed to be people who are upholding the standard for the Lord Jesus. But all this other stuff, and I said it before, all this other stuff is par for the course for somebody like him. Now, I will say, people got mad at me for talking about Cassie. Look, man, women, and I wrote this in my little op-ed that I did on my Substack. So just so y'all don't follow me on Substack, go follow my Substack and look at the article that I wrote. Because women got to also stop compromising on their morals for fame, fortune, and an accelerated career. Diddy was a nut when Cassie met him. Diddy was a nut after they were together for several years. He was an abusive person before Cassie met him, and she knew he was. Now, she was young, and he may have manipulated her.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, all these other women, you're not shocked that he did this. You're not shocked who Diddy is. He's known
Actually,
for stuff
they were
like this.
shocked.
It's not a
I
secret because he
disagree with
raps about it. He's hanging around people that does it, and I'm sure people are talking about it for the most part. It's just like when I was in college. Like, that's why I'm glad I don't have no daughters. I'm just being honest. I'm glad I don't have no daughters. Because you never know. Maybe you raise them right, and then they get to college and they want to have fun. And having fun for a woman and a man is different. It's still bad in guys' eyes if you're out there fornicating, but the reputational damage from a man and a woman in college, if you cutting up, is very different, unfortunately. And these girls will go hang out with the football players, knowing what they trying to do. This has just been happening since I don't know, the first time somebody threw a football.
I disagree with that.
Teach your daughters.
The thing is, a lot of girls know that's not the way that they think. They don't all think that, but you know, a lot of them, believe that, the guy, thinks that, that they're special and stuff like that. And, that they're not going to hurt them, they're not going to coerce them. Girls, believe in love, not being used and abused and everything. So I disagree with that. They don't always know. Now, you're to be dead soon. You're going to have murder on you. Have your fun. Have your fun. Let's see. But,
Crime offender, no matter how egregious he was, and I'm not saying I support this guy, I think he's a devil. But no matter how egregious he was a first-time offender. People thinking that he could do up to 5 years max. Now, I think he's been in there for a little bit, so they're probably going to give him some time served.
Yeah.
But let's play the news clip, and then we're going to talk about more stuff as it relates to P. Diddy. Roll it.
Diddy has been found guilty on 2 counts. The transportation to engage in prostitution counts, count 3 and count 5, as they pertain to Diddy's ex, Cassie Ventura, and another former girlfriend who testified under the pseudonym Jane. What I am seeing right now are guilty verdicts on count 3 and count 5. And I can tell you that prosecutors, when they argued that Diddy transported these women in male escorts across state lines to engage in prostitution, they pulled up a slew of flight and bank records, going line by line, in some cases to jurors, pointing out hotel stays, lengths of hotel stays. They also called in law enforcement investigators as summary witnesses to explain these lengthy, extensive records that they had pulled in this case. I think it's very interesting that these are the...
This is the thing, some of the jury was corrupt. I went over this last night and everything, and how they saw this as a joke. Like, they all deserved what they got, these ladies. Piece of shit jury deserved fucking ass kicking. I fucking swear to God. Piece of shit jurors, I swear to God. Pisses me off, because they're fucking trash as well. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. I'm pissed over this. I'm pissed. Beyond pissed. Because I deal with this stuff. I deal with this stuff. Other, there are women that I know that have gone through stuff. Men that have gone through abuse as well. I've gone through some myself and everything. Just piece of shit jury as well.
Charges that these are the only charges that jurors found Sean Diddy Combs guilty of: transportation to engage in prostitution. And also, to argue these charges, prosecutors called male escorts to the witness stand who testified about how Diddy paid them, in some cases, hundreds to thousands of dollars to have sex with Cassie and him. And at this point, right now, we can see from this...
The problem is, it's not the freak-offs. That's not it. What you do, if you want to have freak-offs, you can do that. If you want to pay sex workers to do this stuff, there's nothing wrong with that either. It's when there's crimes being committed, physical, assaults, batteries, etc., and everything like that. There's nothing wrong with having freak-offs. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing illegal. That's not the thing. And he's about to go into that, but,
verdict sheet that Diddy has been found guilty on count 3 and count 5. He has been found not guilty on the most serious charge, racketeering conspiracy. He's been found not guilty on count 2 and count 4. Those are the...
All right, so let's talk about this a little bit. I want to give you a timeline, then we're going to go to the charges, and I'm going to tell you why, at least from their argument, why he got found on transportation for prostitution versus sex trafficking. A lot of people will question that. Even one of my guys was like, well, what's the difference? It seems like they're both the same. I'm going to explain it here in a minute. But if you've been involved in a case, the trial began in Manhattan in federal court on May the 15th, between May and June, which a lot of people who are in the business of covering this, they covered this specifically. They had 34 witnesses testify against P. Diddy, including Cassie, Kid Cudi and Don Rich. Kid Cudi accused him of blowing his vehicle up as threats and intimidation in one incident that they had, I think because he was trying to date Cassie.
Yeah.
Witnesses described the freak-off parties, physical abuse, forced sex acts, and intimidation. On June the 30th, 2025, the jury began to deliberate, and obviously they found a verdict, okay? Remember yesterday I said it was breaking news, but then the judge wanted them to go back and finish it so they don't give a split verdict. They do it all at one time. You already know the counts, 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, which include Cassie and that other woman who I think people think that's a 50 Cent ex-wife.
Right.
Not guilty on sex trafficking, 2 counts, and racketeering, okay? I want to go through, because I wrote down a little bit of the prosecution defense, and then I want to explain to you guys what these charges are and why he allegedly, I mean not allegedly, but why in fact the jury probably found him guilty on these and not the others, okay? So the prosecution claimed that Diddy ran a criminal enterprise involving the freak-off parties, which with escorts, drugs, and coercion, physical abuse, and control of women. Used testimonies, videos, and messages to show a pattern of sexual trafficking or sex trafficking and racketeering is what they believe. They saw 15 years to life in prison if he was convicted on all charges. Now the defense, which he paid a lot of money for, and they are the best of the best, obviously.
Yeah, they are.
They argued that Diddy's sexual behavior was unconventional, but consensual. Unconventional. I mean, that dude is an animal, man. I don't even know how somebody even want to do all that stuff. It claimed that the accusers were motivated by money. They pointed to Cassie's settlement, which she settled within 24 hours of a civil suit against him for $30-something million. And they're like, she don't want any justice. She would have went to get charges pressed against him. She went and took the money within 24 hours. She didn't even negotiate. She didn't try to deny anything. But what she did, maybe smart and strategic, was she got him to settle. And then the grueling or gruesome arguments within the settlement created an environment where they have to investigate, which may have been smart on her part. They also argued that there was no criminal enterprise, just personal relationships, no organized crime. Okay, now let's go to some of the details and what do these charges mean, okay? When the ones that he was found guilty of, or the verdict found him guilty of, or the verdict that was handed to the judge was a guilty verdict on transportation to engage in prostitution. It's a federal crime under the Man's Act, transporting someone across state lines for illegal sexual activity. Illegal sexual activity. Considered a lesser offense compared to sex trafficking and racketeering. Trafficking involves needs proof of coercion, fraud, or force in sexual exploitation. So they would have to prove that Diddy somehow coerced people to travel, that there was some type of fraudulent expectation involved in them traveling for sex, or there was forced.
I want to go back to no, right here.
You know what his defense attorney said to the judge just a little bit ago? Combs is no pimp and is not a danger to the community, defense attorney says.
That's
His
what
attorney said Combs is no pimp.
He is a pimp. He's a piece of shit trash.
Judge responds to Mark here saying, Mr. Combs tried to get into a batters program in New York. The jury never saw that. And he got arrested.
Some could argue he's worse than a pimp because he's had hundreds of people.
All these months later, here we are.
Dozens of victims and stuff.
The same drive to meet the
Jack,
head on.
you are right. Would say he knows hundreds of people.
Like the self-respecting businessman he is. Ooh. Judge is going at Mark right now. Attorney Mark.
This dumbass judge doesn't know whether to keep them alive and say no to them, to the defense. I knew they were to go on jabbering their mouths, trying to get bail and everything, and all
Anything
sorts of
out
shit.
of this, maybe the judge is the hero and
No, he's
gives
not.
him a harsh sentence,
No, he's
higher than what the prosecution and the defense is asking for. The judge has the authority to do that.
he hasn't done enough, especially with Diddy's family, and just supports how they've run amok in the courtroom. The flow, the same drive to be head on. Let's see, the same drive to be the head on, like self-respecting. He's a piece. He's not a businessman. What the fuck? This guy should be executed for all the stuff he's done. He should.
Pretty much what the judge is saying is you conceded he's violent. He's violent. He's a violent guy. He's violent. You conceded that. You admit that. And I can factor that in the bail application in granting bail or not.
I hope something bad happens to him in jail. I do. I hope so. He
Off the jail,
deserves it.
Diddy. Off
Me
the
and some
jail.
other guys who are talking about this, hopefully something will happen. I hope so.
Though, he probably will sleep a little bit better tonight. But off the jail. Look at this. He's been a model prisoner. What? He's been accused of stealing people's PIN numbers and using other inmates.
He's getting special treatment.
There has been no
because-
issues.
Yeah.
He's going to have next chapters of his life.
I need stupid dumbass defense to do this shit. They go back, even though judge already ruled something. These pieces of shit
When you're
defense attorneys,
Charged with
they
racketeering.
go back and whine
You
like
have
stupid little
dark
children.
talks.
Let's see.
When I
That
was
was
reading
full.
the Mia message for his birthday, I had a hard time doing it.
When you're charged with racketeering, you have dark talks. When I was reading the Mia message for his birthday, I had a hard time doing it.
They say he's a model prisoner.
No,
What?
he's keeping quiet. Which is that they have him under closed lock. I mean, what do you expect him to do? He can't do
A
anything.
model prisoner.
That's complete bullshit. You're total lockdown and everything. You're not a model prisoner. You're just. What are you talking about?
Domestic violence is violence, judge says as he shuts down Combs' defense. The defense's own language is coming back to haunt Combs' team. As the judge notes, Combs' attorneys conceded to the jury that there was violence in this case.
No
His
shit.
attorney said in their opening and closing arguments that Combs was guilty of domestic violence, but that his offenses did not meet the bar of racketeering or sex trafficking. The judge reminded attorney Mark of this as he pushed back the Combs defense has not adequately proved
His
that Combs
children
is
are
not
there.
a danger to
Let's
the
see.
public.
His two daughters.
Domestic violence is violence.
Fucking trash family. Fucking swear to God.
Mark's still trying to convince the judge. His children are here. His two daughters. They're
Fuck
in the middle of
him.
the second row. They no longer have a living mother.
Because he's fucking an abuser. He's an abuser. He beats his woman. No one wants to be with a piece of shit guy that should be executed for the stuff that he's done. And I'll give a fucking rat's ass what anybody says. In here it says, don't say different to me. I'm kicking the fucking asses out of you. I fucking swear to God. I've been through people with abuse and everything else, and this piece of shit pisses me off. And his people that are for this, are the same. The stupid ass mother groomed him. His mother and other people both have records. You got Quincy Jones.
Hey, Aaron,
And all these other people groomed Diddy. There's stuff that Diddy did back to his fucking childhood.
Oh! He wants to talk to you. Let me check. Okay, check. Oh, Diddy might be speaking to the judge. Diddy might be speaking to the judge now. Oh.
This is pissing me off, this piece of shit.
Okay, check. Miss Comey, what do you have to say? Oh, the judge might listen. The judge is going to listen to Diddy. Speak. Diddy's going to speak to the judge. That's what's happening. But in the meantime, the judge is like, okay, you check. Miss Comey. AUSA Comey says his brazenness
Proof right
is
here.
almost unmatched.
Proof right here. Proof right here. You got money, money talks, shit walks. That's the assistant U.S. attorney. His brazenness is also unmatched. The suggestion it was self-defense is insulting. He slapped her in the shoulder. He had drugs in his New York. See, he did just tear on his shoulder. Let's see. He hit her in the head over and over again. In the videos. In the fucking videos. It's not saying it's on the fucking shoulder. Since the U.S. attorney isn't doing it. Dumbass.
Whoa. Is she talking about the freak off that was supposed to happen at the time of Diddy's arrest? It was supposed to be with Jane? Is that what the prosecution's trying to say? Because earlier we heard the prosecution saying he was preparing to do a freak off before his surrender.
Yep.
But look at this. He had drugs in his hotel room. He invited Jane. Jane appears to be the person he was going to have a freak off with at the time he was going to get arrested at the Park Hyatt Hotel. The time he got arrested. Yep. That's what it looks like to me. Mark's trying to sneak into the bail application. We could craft conditions.
We could craft
Would the court be
conditions.
open to us putting together
Would
a
the
bail
court
package?
be,
I am happy to
open
do
to
so.
us putting together a bail package. A bail package, you
The
fucking
judge goes,
cunts.
the bail application is
I'm
denied.
happy to do so, you piece of shit.
Will receive, hopefully, a joint proposal on expedited sentencing.
You know,
on
already, this is
Tuesday
dumbass
and a
judge
hearing
that's allowing you to
at
keep
2
on
p.m.
talking.
Mark was trying to get him to change his mind on the bond. And the judge wanted to remind him again, your bail application has been denied. Will hopefully receive a joint proposal of an expedited sentencing. Hearing Tuesday 2 p.m. here on this channel. We'll be here for that.
This pisses me off is people, anybody.
That would be in reference to an
Because
expert.
I know too many victims that have gone through abuse. I've gone through some in my life as well and everything. And this piece of shit, you know, I like to see a firing squad take him out. And some of his security that enabled this as well. Just shot dead by firing squad. That's what I want to see. I want to see justice done. Injustice has been done. Instead, this guy's gonna walk. It looks like. Like I say, you got money, doesn't matter what color you are. You got money, you can walk. Shit, you know. While you talk shit walks to jail. While you talk shit walks to prison. That's the system that we're in.
And its brazenness.
The application
He's
denied.
an extremely violent man with an extraordinary dangerous temper who has shown no remorse and no regret for his multiple victims.
But these stupid ass rest defense attorneys gonna say, oh, you can craft something. Shut the fuck up. I hope they have a terrible death in some ways for doing it, what they're doing. I know they're getting paid, they're doing what they're supposed to, but I have nothing. I always hope they have a terrible death, you know, cancer or something, you know.
We'll have the answer next time when we come back on this hearing scheduled for Tuesday, 2 p.m. We'll probably set the feed up for 1:15, 1:30 or something like that. I don't know. They might say we're ready for sentencing then. I don't know. So he goes back to jail. So as much as, victory, he's not spending life in prison without the possibility of parole. He was found not guilty on the most serious charges of RICO and sex trafficking. He still goes back, even on the minor charge, and it's not necessarily minor, it's still going to hold significant jail time, prison time, some, not as much as life, not as much as 15, 30 years. But he goes back to jail. The judge, sending him back to jail. Judge 2, Mark.
The verdict cannot be overturned.
Reportedly,
It cannot
in your
be.
closing argument, told the jury that there was violence here, and domestic violence is violence. And you said this is a case that did involve violence.
You can't be retried for stuff like this, but you can for other people. There are other people that could go after him for the same stuff. The stupid the prosecution, U.S. attorney, U.S. attorneys needs to do a better job because, like I said, the jury was not read into RICO either. They don't know about law. They don't know, all this stuff. The only thing they know about RICO is stuff from the mob and stuff like that. And a lot of people just don't know what the fuck, how that pertains to Diddy, even though it did. I went over that last night.
To see what the atmosphere is like outside this courthouse as you see people are starting to come out, starting to trickle out. Bail, bond, denied.
He's throwing it back
We'll see
what
where
the
this
defense
goes.
attorney, Agnew Flo, said.
And we'll see if there's any press conference or statement outside the...
Yeah, he told the defense attorney, said, you fully, thoroughly, in your closing argument, told the jury there was violence here. And domestic violence is violence. And he said this is a case that did involve violence.
home suspending 4th of July at the very least, behind bars. You're not going home on 4th of July. All right, so the marshals are starting to move around. The question is, do we get a press conference? That's what we're waiting to see. Press conference.
Definitely not sticking around for that. Unless this is...
Diddy's 0 for 4. 0 for 4 at bail hearings.
They tried 4 times to get it. Fucking rats.
Bail denied. So, next step is to see the family come on out. Maybe a statement by his attorneys, maybe not. Maybe they're just going to keep quiet out of fear of offending anyone out there. We shall see. They wanted to bring him out. They wanted to show. I mean, this is good publicity for his attorneys, too.
Other counts,
his attorneys now probably getting calls all over their phone. Hey, we want you. We want you. You know, the attorneys won on this. His attorneys won. If there was any real victory here, people that won, it would be his attorneys. Attorneys won. A lot of people probably be calling the attorney saying, I want your services. I want your services. Y'all got him off of RICO. Attorneys won.
Let's see. Which of those federal coercive control laws kick in? No bail on just domestic violence will be the new normal. Thanks, Diddy.
Glad we covered this. For sure.
Well, let us see here. Oh, where she's on. There's a lot of stuff that I don't like about Tis and
People are starting
Tales.
to trickle out
Or
the courthouse.
let me see. I don't like to use these people when it's live because it's like I feel like it's stealing content. But this is news and everything. It is transformative and various and shit. Let me see. She's not on. How is she not on? She's always been on. That's weird. I expect her to have a huge time rating right now, like me. She did one 6 hours ago. Let me see here. Let me see what she said.
There has been Judgment Day.
Tis and Tales, shout out. I want to see what she said.
And the jury has found Sean Diddy Combs not guilty. We're going to talk about what this means. We're going to talk about what happened. We're going to talk about what the government said. And we're going to talk about the way I feel that jury has failed us. I feel like the jury failed us. I feel like we stepped back 20 years. I feel like they sent a message about what they care about. Celebrity, money, power, influence, flunkies. I feel like this is a travesty. Okay? I know that there are a lot of Diddy supporters that are celebrating, but they're not even celebrating for Diddy. They're celebrating that wealth, that depravity, that violence could live another day. They're celebrating that they're idle, that in their beds while they sit there and wonder why their lives turned out, that they're idle, someone they hope for, they aspire to be. Someone that as he gets not guilty, he's not even going to say 2 words to these people. They are celebrating the fact that the man, the myth, the legend, someone that they looked up to, that their idol was set free. You guys, let's get into this. First of all, I do want to say I feel for all the victims that came forward, and I feel for all the victims that actually came forward and testified, that put their lives, that shared the most humiliating parts of their life to be picked apart, to be mocked, to be laughed at. In the closing arguments, while the jury was sitting there giggling, while Mark Agnifilo was saying Cassie's gangster and she could take 2 or 3 people, and my heart goes out to the victims that actually came forward. And my heart goes.
She was there in the courtroom watching so the jury laugh at this. Those piece of shit jurors. Just fucking ass kick.
Out to the future victims that saw what happened, that saw what money and power bought, and my heart goes out to those people that put themselves on the line only to get this. People are cheering for someone they didn't even know. People are cheering at the fact that someone that they would never let, their daughter, their sister, their mother.
A jury that laughs about domestic abuse, domestic violence, and let's be honest, some stuff that Jane Doe was talking about, she wasn't coerced as of it later on. She went out and she sought out male porn stars, etc., to have freak-offs with. She's no longer a victim in that, when she's doing that stuff. But thing is, all the other stuff, I don't give a fuck what people say about me or terms of use or whatever. They deserve a fucking ass kicking if they're laughing about that stuff. They do. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I don't care what ShitTube says or anybody. I'm not here to be somebody's bitch. And, I just say what I want to say.
Father, their brother, their friend be treated like that. But again, it is what it is. The prosecution is saying they are going to go for the maximum sentence, which carries 20 years. The judge is charged with sentencing.
I've gone through abuse with some people and everything. So, yeah, I'm pissed off. I'm very pissed off, these motherfuckers.
There's a chance that he could be out on probation. Now, I'm going to take you into the courtroom. What happened? Of course, listen, looking back. So I know what you guys are thinking. What happened? Because I am in shock. You found the prostitution.
I'm not.
But that's because
when she and other people were talking about the jurors laughing and stuff in the courtroom, I knew right then and there. Some of us knew that this is going to go bad. Probably. It did.
There's no way you can get around it. You found the You found the prostitution because there was no way to get around it. But for everything else, the arson, the kidnapping, the beatings, you found that this man wasn't guilty. This puts everything else in the holdouts. The holdouts, they were the ones fighting the good fight. They were the ones that said, no, I think he's guilty of something. But at the end, they went with the group. What is this said? A jury of between 40-year-olds and 71-year-olds, and they came back and they delivered their view of the world. But when you look at it, their view of the world is why the world looks like it is. It's why the world looks like it does. It's why these monsters can still move forward. They literally use their better judgment to come back and ignore what we have learned about victims of SA, about ask yourself
sexual
why
assault, just
sex
say
trafficking has not been
YouTube.
eradicated. This is the reason why. Ask yourself why victims don't come forward, and ask yourself, right?
What do you say about Diddy every day? You came out here and lied on him. We just want to get your reaction. You said he was going to prison, might be coming home. Just want to get your reaction. What do you think about the recall?
I think that much like you, the jury very ignorant, acted ignorantly, and have no, I'm saying the way you came up on me is
a
ignorant.
stupid Diddy supporter. I think
well, baby, here I am.
What do you think about the recall? What about all of the lies?
I think I'm on live right now. Okay, worry about your little channel, sweetie. What's that? Diddy is still not gonna let you suck his dick, baby.
Suck his dick.
He's going
You're sucking Diddy's
Baby,
dick,
your
huh?
channel's not doing a good
You
job.
want his dick, huh? You want his dick.
Anyway,
Yeah.
right? Anyway, here we go, right? As we
People
go,
sucking
right?
dick, yeah.
As
Damn
we
right,
go.
dude.
Hey, what's
She's
up, right?
fucking preaching
People
facts.
acting like I'm the prosecution, but baby, they can bring the smoke if they want. They acting like I'm the prosecution. So anyway, you guys, listen. What does it say? Do you see the things that I actually just put up with? These people are crazy. This man literally came up because he
I gotta say, I'm from the streets. I'm here in the streets. So a lot of stuff, way I talk is from the streets and everything, because I'm around this shit. All right. So, anyways, let's keep going.
This man literally came up and tried to cause a scene because his idol, someone he's never met or known. Again, the level of ignorance that is in Diddy supporters, the fact that they're saying I lied on Diddy by reading court documents, I lied on Diddy by what was going on, I lied on Diddy. This is the supporters they have, and this is the world that we live in.
Shout out
This is the
Tissy
world
Tails.
that we live in. Listen, this is the world. Baby, I am securityed up on all corners. Don't worry, I'm fine. All right, so let's get into what actually happened, okay? They have a verdict on all counts, okay? He was only convicted of the Mann Act, and that is prostitution. Now, this turned out to be what the jury was doing, okay? Somebody tweeted that this tells me there's a strong chance that the jury has found him not guilty on counts 2, 3, 4, and 5, because if they found him guilty on those, number 1 would be easy, okay? So let's get in this, all right? They said it never made sense that he was guilty. People said that it never made sense that he was guilty of sex trafficking. Then they split on RICO. He would have been automatically guilty of RICO if he had trafficked the 2 women. But yeah,
Well, this
listen.
is another reason why I don't get as many views too, or anything, because I say the full words. I'm not afraid to use them. Fuck YouTube. Fuck you, YouTube. Listen, the thing is, I just say the full words. They don't use the full words because YouTube doesn't like that. They don't give you as much visibility. They don't give me that visibility either. And stuff, which is why, I don't do as much on here. It's a useless company always.
Here's where I think things might have went wrong. The jury selection, okay? It should have been younger people on that jury and way more women. Of course, an older male jury would assume the women were just whores. I said it. Older men are, it is what it is.
Yeah,
Again, they had to rush the indictment without...
I hate to agree, but I do agree with that. I hate to agree with that, but yeah.
First actually uncovering his full criminal enterprise. Instead of taking the usually 2 years of investigation, an actual huge racketeering enterprise, they did an only quick few months before they started bringing stuff to the grand jury. Let me just say this for anybody asking. I stand 100% down on what I thought and what I felt about Diddy. I do think that this was a miscarriage of justice. I think that the jurors are ignorant. I think the people that supported, well, not the jurors, but the people that support Diddy were ignorant. And I think the jury made the wrong call. And I stand 10 toes down on that. I hope the prosecution does appeal, okay? Now get this. The investigation.
That's
okay?
the thing, is how do they appeal on this with a jury that has already found him not guilty? What stuff could they appeal? The defense already had stuff, that they were going to appeal on if he was found guilty on different counts. So this could go either way and stuff like that. You can't just do that. There's that double jeopardy thing as well. How are you gonna? What's the legal basis? It better be fucking good. I don't really see that right now.
There were no wiretaps or phone warrants. The investigation, or no investigating, or maybe there is about the people around him. Again, we can talk about the investigation. We know that Damian Lewis had to leave. We knew they did the best they could. But again, let's not act like Diddy did not have a lock on anything and everybody, okay? Again, the claim of Jane, we have to argue, as a victim on the prosecution's side, knowing full well that Diddy was paying for the lawyer that was advising on how to testify. This is what people are saying, okay? On top of that, right? The cutting out of crucial witnesses, especially after the other ones were maybe didn't do the best on cross. I think that was a strategic gamble that Diddy made, and I think it turned out very well. What was the actual strategic gamble? We need to look at it for what it was. They thought the defense was going to call people. And at the end of the day, the defense decided not to call anybody. That was another huge, it was a gamble, and the gamble paid off, okay? Again, I stand 10 toes down. I think this was a miscarriage of justice. I think the jury got it wrong. But the jury was older, they were misogynistic, they were horrible, okay? Another mistake, I believe, okay?
I said all the things I said what I think should happen to those jurors and stuff like that. I'm not going to say that.
Not charging other co-conspirators. It looked crazy for Diddy to be sitting there by himself and claiming a criminal enterprise, okay? Yeah. And making all the co-conspirators sit there in the court together.
A lot of people, even I was saying that, were these other people just going to wait for them or whatever? And the security team that was in on this stuff, they got immunity and stuff like that for testifying. It's like, what good is that? What good is that now because it's gotten away with all this murder and stuff like that? So it's like that they should have, but then again with the jury, I'm glad in a lot of ways that they didn't. I don't know. I think if they would have me, I don't know. I think the problem is the jury. The problem is the piece of shit jury. Those rats.
Listen, the way, okay, that they could have used this opportunity to dig through what Diddy had been doing illegally, but this is what money can buy you. Mark Agnifilo, he did it. Oh, I saw him in the elevator. He actually made a comment, right? Some people from ABC asked them, how did this happen, right? The fact that they're, and they said that this was a big win, okay? Somebody asked him, how did your big win feel? He said, in 35 years, I have never felt like this. He was looking like he had just won the Super Bowl. And they said, how do you feel? He said, I'm relieved that I don't feel miserable. I'm relieved that I do not feel miserable.
So July 8th is when they'll have stuff about probation and sentencing, something like that. So another hearing. It's a hearing to talk about this. Whether he will be sentenced or not is different. The defense attorneys wanted to fast track. It was scheduled for October the 3rd. Bail was denied. At least so far, I mean, hopefully it is. I know they're trying to get on the judge over and over again, change that. But.
And he said in 35 years, he has never felt like this. Again, it defies logic and it defies odds that this jury found that man innocent of all that. The kidnapping, the arson, the robbery, everything that actually happened. And they said it didn't matter. They said those women's pain didn't matter. They said their bodies didn't matter. They said it didn't matter. And there are a bunch of idiots that literally are celebrating depravity. They're celebrating that you can use people as party favors. They're celebrating they can get away. And I get it. I see why Diddy and his family are celebrating. They want to get their money back. They want to get their lives back. But these bottom lickers that are celebrating, what's going on with that? what is going on with that. Again, I'm not going to even, I am so disappointed, not just in the jury, but in the people and in the public and in what that means. I am disappointed and I am disgusted. A red flag should have been those crap men laughing at his stupid misogynistic rape jokes, laughing at painting Cassie as a ho-ho-ho, laughing at all that. It should have been something of it. And it lets us know it's sending, listen.
It's not only that, but the other people that were talking about these freak-offs, the money, the trafficking, the coercion, the blackmail. This isn't just Jackie, it's about all these other people as well. These piece of shit jurors just see it as sex. Or whatever, consensual sex. Deserve an ass kicking.
Me Too movement, because they always like to bring that up. It lets you know they don't think you matter. They don't think your pain matters. They would die if it was their mom, their sister, their sister, their mom, their whatever. They would die. But when it's somebody else's, it's fine. When it's somebody else's, it's fine. Again, let's get into this, right? Mark Magnafilio did a smart legal move, and I'm telling you guys, I am so disappointed, but I still have to power through and tell you where I think things went wrong. He is still looking at a maximum of 20 years, but there's a chance that he could walk away with probation. Mark Agafilio stood up at the last time, okay? He stood up and he actually said, right? Listen, wait, what? Hold on. 1 second. He stood up, okay? He stood up and he actually said that he wants Diddy to go free now. I understand, right? I understand. I've been hearing lots of comments that Diddy's family's looking for me. King Combs was in the hallway saying, "Where's Tisa? Where's Tisa? Where's Tisa?" Tisa is right here. Tisa's still standing down on truth, right? It was either one of the sons or somebody with them, right? It doesn't matter. The whole point is, even with the Combs family, this is what I mean about the hostility.
The reason why I say piece of shit family is because it's multi-generational now. They're just like their father. They're just like their father. And they want that money and everything as well. Normally I would never ever talk like that. I would never be as trashy as that. But when they support a piece of shit guy like Diddy and all the violence, and that he's associated with, and even murders he's associated with as well, so I mean, they're okay with that. Instead of saying, fuck you, Dad, you're a piece of shit, change your ways, I'll still love you as a father or whatever, but I'm not going to support you. Just try.
Those charges. I stand by. I believe what the government said, and I stand by the victims. But the fact that now, and this is what that dream team actually did, they let this man back on the street. Right? Because now, let's talk about everybody that didn't lick his feet. Let's talk about everybody that wasn't part of his thing. Let's talk about everybody that believed the victims. Because now it's time for the Combs Enterprise to do what the Combs Enterprise does. And that is to do what?
Let me see. There is... trash supporters everywhere. I got nothing but hate for just about everybody. See, I want to go back to Tissa. I hope I go. Let's see that.
And back on the street. Right? Because now, let's talk about everybody that didn't lick his feet. Let's talk about everybody that wasn't part of his thing. Let's talk about everybody that believed the victims. Because now it's time for the Combs Enterprise to do what the Combs Enterprise does. And that is to do what? to apply that pressure, to apply that money, and to apply those bottom feeders that really the bottom feeders that really don't care about anything except their proximity to wealth. It is what it is. Let's get back into this, okay? Again, I think the co-conspiratorship, but again, I am Monday.
I mean, again, there's stuff that I agree with her, disagree with her on, stuff like that. I just want to put that out there. But she's nailing it on this.
Quarterbacking. The prosecution put on a great prosecution. This really goes into what they think abuse is, what people think abuse is, how much they're willing to stand against it, what they're willing to accept. This was a message to all victims, and the message is stay quiet. The message is people don't care, and the message is Diddy doesn't even have to lift a finger to silence people. He doesn't even have to lift a finger to silence people. They will actually do it.
Yeah, they're brainwashed. It's a cult. It's like a fucking cult and everything. They'll rise up and do it without him needing to say so. And he has family, he has other supporters that will, mobilize and weaponize for him and everything. That's what they've been doing there in New York as well. They've been doing this shit. So
again, the dream team got him off so they can now start applying pressure and now start doing. Mark Agnifilo stood up and said they would be an action. There is Xavier and Westmoreland leaving the court. They are part of the dream team that got Diddy free. Again, they did their job and they did their job well. Unfortunately, their job, in my opinion, was getting a monster off. Again, this isn't a loss for me. I was advocating for victims. This is a loss for all of us. This is a loss for society. And the fact that when all that went down, that is all they could say, that is all they could do. Again, I still stand 10 toes down. And all these people saying, ha, 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 I get it. We live in a world, in a country, in a time when nobody cares about anybody, right? Nobody cares about anybody. Let's get, listen, let's get this. Let's get into this. Cassie's lawyer, Douglas Wigdor, has made a statement, okay? He said, this entire criminal process started when our client, Cassie Ventura, had the courage to file her civil complaint in November 2023. They said although the jury did not find Diddy guilty of sex trafficking, Cassie, beyond a reasonable doubt, she paved the way for a jury to find him guilty of transportation to engage in prostitution. By coming forward with her experience, Cassie has left an indelible mark on both the entertainment industry and the fight for justice. This is a direct statement from Cassie's lawyer, Douglas Wigdor, okay? We must repeat with no reservation that we believe and support our client who showed exemplary courage throughout
these stupid piece of shit Diddy supporters are out there attacking Cassie's lawyer and everything. Those people should be attacked and ridiculed. I think they should be burned alive. Love. I mean, for supporting such a piece of shit like Diddy and everything. But
trial. She displayed unquestionable strength and brought attention to the realities of powerful men in our orbit and the misconduct that has persisted for decades without repercussion. This case proved that change is long overdue, and we will continue to fight on behalf of survivors.
yeah.
Well said, Mr. Wigdor. Well said, okay? Now let's look at whatever else also could have went wrong, okay? Listen, again, last major point, which points to the obvious fact that this whole thing was unnecessarily rushed, all right? In grand jury, listen, grand juries and home raise are what happens when you end the investigation. Those feds were bringing stuff to the grand jury just a few months after opening an investigation.
That's his stupid
The
people.
fact at the end that they're rushed and lazy investigations, the feds knew nothing more about Diddy and his business operations than what was Cassie's complaint, right? I mean, the Rolling Stones found out more about the illegal stuff that Diddy was doing than the feds did, all right? Everyone knew Diddy was doing mob-type stuff to keep people in shady deals and cutting former business partners out. 2 years of wiretaps and pressure to talk and be charged as a co-conspirator would have done a lot. But again, Mark Agnifilo took that away, okay? Listen, again, it is what it is. Again, this is a watershed moment, okay? It is a watershed moment. Again, it is a watershed moment. Again, what are you doing? It is a watershed moment. You guys, listen. All I can say is this, okay? All I can say is this. Again, people want to talk about controlling the media, okay? When I say watershed moment, I don't mean that good. I mean that it's a watershed moment and a wake-up call for the type of country we live in, for the type of thoughts that are in people's minds from 40 to 71 years old, and the fact that they will actually do that. I will say this, okay? I will say this. This is not over, and we need to move forward. I get all the flunkies of Diddy are happy their idol, who wouldn't even spit on them, is out. Because this is the type of lifestyle they idolize. A world where women can be drugged, they can be transported, they can be beaten, and nothing, as long as you have enough money and power, the respect that brings will guarantee that you will never get anything again. Again, this is a circus, and this is America. This is the world we live in. A woman's body means nothing. Bruises mean nothing. SA mean nothing, okay? And now we have
the thing is, and this is where I come in, you know, the male performers, the men that were victims of Diddy and everything, this piece of shit. And supporters, I hope they burn alive. I hope they do. I hope some bad stuff really happens to them. I really do. Because they're shit. But now even more victims are not going to come out. Probably. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. You know, it pisses me off. This
thing of black men coming, trying to do. You guys, listen. I will actually say something, right? At the end of the day, these were federal charges. And the fact that people think that federal charges do not have anything and they don't stick about...
Those rats are all screaming.
Oh, these broke niggas is mad.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah.
Listen, at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, excuse me, can you please move him away, please? So at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, right? We will, listen. At the end of the day, we have done what we can. This shows that these people care more about, right? We have shown. Y'all, I work for the feds. So listen,
that's his people.
What's been actually happening is, I'm glad I'm turning into the story, honey. I'm glad. I'm going. Okay, so listen, at the end of the day, these people are sitting here in their struggle mad that Diddy doesn't even know they exist. They want it, I get it. They're mad that they don't have, right? Listen, they are mad. They're mad. They're mad. They are mad. Listen, at the end of the day, the prosecution is showing what it is. And now they are saying that I should be the story because I actually went to the prosecution. Because at the end of the day, they are mad that I went with what the prosecution could say, that I did with what the prosecution would say, and they're mad. There's all these bottom figures that literally are trying to get money off they can, but they cannot, right? Listen, at the end of the day, these people need to be worrying about whether Diddy's going to get time and not yelling at me. I get it that I'm the story. I know they need me for the views. I know they need me for the content. I know they need me for those pennies and those money. And I know that they are the type of men that feel very comfortable trying to harass and bully and intimidate women. At the end of the day, this is the type of people they are.
Those are most likely the same kind of women, male abusers themselves that likes to beat on women, have sex with boys and girls. You have boys and girls, underage kids. These are the same guys. Same motherfuckers. And everything. Those are his supporters that like to commit rape, to blackmail, and everything else.
Want to bully women. They want the quiet women. And there's a bunch of dusty, ugly, male-identified women also riding on them. Yeah. At the end of the day, this is the world we live in. And I'm glad. Thank you for my baby for paying for security. Thank you for my baby for keeping me protected. Baby, I love you, and I will sue you soon, okay? But at the end of the day, these are Diddy supporters. Grown men rolling up on women, trying to intimidate them, trying to make me feel scared, trying to make me feel, because they're mad that the federal government looked at behavior and said it's no. They are hoping that maybe they can get like a few things. There's a bunch of dusty, ugly, men-identified women mad that patriarchy didn't work for them, that are riding along with them. I get it. This is the world that we live in. They're mad. Federal government bought up things, and this he is crashing out. He's crashing out, and I love to see it. He is crashing. Whoever it is, he is crashing out. Meanwhile, the man that he rolled out for don't know him, won't shake his hand, but he wants, at the end of the day, and any gay, listen, at the end of...
That shows right there how dangerous Diddy is. He weaponizes his people to attack other people. He doesn't want other people to have a say. If Diddy got out and stuff like that, he'd probably have people dead or threaten them or whatever else. He'd threaten their lives and everything else. This shows it right there, and his supporters are screaming all out, all throughout. They've been doing that, outside of court. I've been watching these fucking rats.
The day, right? At the end of the day, it is
defensive rat poison is what they need.
What it talks about, and I get it, and it's sad that these band of married men are doing this. You guys, let's get back into this, okay? So anyway, Mark Agnifilio, listen, I will say this one time. The jury got it wrong, and the jury enabled this behavior. This is what the jury enabled. These are the people that support Diddy. This is the type of thing that they want actually done. Grown men and men crashing out, emotional over someone that doesn't even know they exist. Grown men fighting for the fact that they should be able to abuse, bully, yell. This is the world they want to live in. This is the world they want to live in. And now they're crashing out, screaming, voices cracking, because they're mad that security is making it impossible for them to even touch me or get over to it. Anyway, you guys, let's get back into this. Let's get back into it. And they're mad. But this is what they want.
This entails, there's some stuff that I don't agree with her on, with some stuff that this I totally do. Give her a like, and if you like her, subscribe as well. See what she has to say, and everything. So,
okay, so Mark...
The thing is, again, men were abused by Diddy as well. Lots of other women were. Sex workers were abused by Diddy. Kids, underage kids, were sexually abused, from what some have come out and say. This is going to come after this trial and stuff like that. And one lawyer is working on that right now. A civil case, and it should go criminal. If it's real, then it needs to go criminal. It should be civil, it should go criminal and stuff. I want to see this guy burn and everything else, including his supporters.
Agnifilio stood up and said that he thinks that Diddy should be able to be released and go home now. Okay? The
much.
government said that they are going to strongly oppose that. The government said that they are going to strongly oppose that, right? Now, here's the thing, and you guys, thank you so much for being here with me. I am here in the trenches with y'all. I am here, actually out here. There's a lot of hate out here. A lot of people act like I bought the charges. I will never apologize for supporting victims. And again, everybody laughing and kikiing, let them have their point. But again, the day has to change sometime. Diddy left, so now they come to the only story, which is actually me, right? Which is actually me, okay? So anyway, listen, they're saying that Diddy should be out on bail because it got downgraded to prostitution. They said he should be released now. He should be returned to home. He's only been convicted of the Mann Act, which, by the way, can go up to 20 years for the Mann Act, right? Mark has made a bid saying he got released he got not guilty for less serious things, but it is, right? He said that his plane has been chartered. The plane is in Maui, so he's not a flight risk. He says he has no access to the plane, and his family has in fact been, his family is going to hold him to make sure he doesn't try to run, right? He said that he shouldn't be permitted. He said he should be permitted to go home and live his life at home, like he's been working, right? He said this is just a prostitution offense. They said that he should be able to leave the courtroom and walk outside, okay? They're doing the guidelines. But here's the thing. The prosecution jumped up and said that they are going to ask for the guidelines and they're going to ask for the maximum sentence of 20 million, right? Mark Agnifilo thinks that he should be released right now on $1 million bond, give up his passport to his family and be able to go between Florida and New York City. And again, I literally sat there and said, this man who, even when, as Maureen Comey said, when prosecution was watching, this man was able to, even while prosecution was watching, was able to do what? He was able to go back and forth. Even while the prosecution was watching, he still was able, even when prosecution was watching, to break the law. Commit this. He was still hiring escorts. He was still ready to go. And they are trying to get him off. Again, congratulations to the Dream Team for doing what they do. But again, do you see all these idiots walking around wanting to fight me, mad I have security, and they can't be a man and use their fist in?
One thing is, I have to put this disclaimer out there. Hiring escorts, there's nothing illegal about that unless it's illegal in your jurisdiction or state, unless they're in New York, it's not. But when he's on this case or whatever, it could be added charge to that. It could be added to that. Which, like I said, some of what happened was RICO and some of it was not. But, you know, they got away with a lot of stuff on here. And it proves that money talks, shit walks. If it was me or somebody else, we'd be burned alive. You know, we'd be there for life and everything. No question about it.
In hands like Diddy, this is what the jury enabled. And this is the world the jury wants to live in. They sent a clear signal that if you beat someone, hit someone, expose someone to indignity, that's what their money and power can actually buy. Okay? And there's a lot of people. Again, at the end of the day, they focus on what they can. A bunch of dusty, men-identified women that patriarchy never worked for, but they're still going to support it because that's the only leg in the game they can. And a bunch of men that's mad that they're broke, mad that they don't get the views. Even people that today, oh, you need to apologize. Are you going to send super chats back? Baby, does it make you that mad? Does it make you that mad that there were so many people that supported victims of sexual abuse? Does it make you that mad that there were so many people that actually did the right thing? At the end of the day, it is not a game. At the end of the game, it is not a game. And now Diddy's people have caused such a commotion that even when they won, even though he might be facing 20 years, they are still calling the boys in blue, even when he won. Again, everybody's looking and they want to see what my opinion is and what I'm going to do. And I still stand 10 toes down.
Much love, Tisa.
Thank you, Sam. It's okay. Listen. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Listen, hey, what's up, girl? Lovely Ty, can I get... Hold on. Can I get
You ain't gonna push me away, right?
Listen.
Okay, make sure.
Listen, these men
I ran away from the drama, honey.
Listen, these men are out here. They want to lay hands and feet on me. Thank God I got security.
Yes,
but
she
maybe,
do. She got top flash. She got 1 and 2. She got playing. She's in a gated cell, honey.
And there's a few in the cut that y'all don't see. So listen,
Exactly.
thank you, baby, for getting me security. I love you.
Aw.
I'm safe. So tell me,
Okay.
what did you feel? This is, for everybody that doesn't know, this is the queen of YouTube herself,
Hey, y'all.
Lovely T. Please make sure y'all support and join her Discord. It is top notch, and
She's
is
in the
OG.
Discord. I didn't even know that.
Yes,
But T's in
you
the
know what?
Discord.
On my burner account. On my burner account.
her burner account.
On my burner account. So listen, tell me, when you heard the trial, the verdict come out, what did you think and feel?
Okay, I felt like I said before, the RICO was an overreach. I don't believe that there was a RICO. I don't think there was enough. This is not a case of BMF. I don't think he did this and his employees did this under the guise of, they're moving drugs, they're moving weight. So I didn't feel like that, but I'm glad he got charged with something.
Yeah.
And they had the receipts for what they charged him with. And like I said, this is going to set a precedence. Okay? This is going
The
to...
thing is, they're moving people. There's prostitution. There was drugs being moved from location to location. Anybody was fucking listening to a fucking case. Drugs were being moved. Drugs, you had cocaine, coke, and stuff like that. All these different drugs being moved, paid for. That's trafficking. That's a RICO charge. Money was being laundered. Money was being, exchanged, trafficked, different states and everything. Piece of shit ad block. I fucking swear to God. Let me see. Piece of shit ad blocker. Jesus Christ. Anyways, so all that stuff was happening and everything. Idiots. Did not see that? Are you fucking kidding me? You're not listening to the fucking case? Even the mobsters. You're not fucking listening to the case? You're not fucking understanding. The thing is, they're saying, where are these other guys? Some of these other guys got immunity. There should have been others. There should have, but I'm afraid if they would have had them, though. I know it could have gone both ways still. And this is where the argument, where's all these other people in this RICO? There needs to be other people, that are facing this as well, not just Diddy. You could say that they shot themselves in the foot with that. Then again, with the verdict, maybe it wouldn't have mattered. Anyways, let me see here. I think I did it right there. That's it for now. I said my piece.